Today we're going to carry out an experiment stepping in the shoes of the hardest workers, those who are constantly on the go, juggling long hours, high pressure jobs, all while trying to stay fit. The reality is these people don't have time to plan out their meal prep or have perfect nutrition. These people are forced to grab food on the go. They grab food from canteens, petrol stations and whatever is quick and convenient based on their busy schedules. But is that actually working for them? Or they are stuck in a cycle of cravings, struggling to lose fat and low energy. Today we've left the house and we're going to go through what would be a normal workday. We've left the house having no breakfast and we're going to stop at a local takeaway coffee shop to try and get a coffee and something that I can get for breakfast. Going to look for something that is healthy, although I think it might be difficult. Following this, I'm going to head off into the city where we're going to look for healthy options, looking at the top 5 places that people generally eat from. So you have canteens, you have meal deals from supermarkets, you have the takeaway cafes, you have food ordering services where people like Just Eat or Deliveroo, and you have the fast food chains like McDonald's, Burger King, KFC. We're going to look at these different options and we are going to try and understand why the busy professionals, the hardest workers in this country, are making the choices they do. And then we're going to go home, we're going to analyse the data, and we're going to offer solutions that might help you stay on track, give you more energy, stop you craving junk food, and help you stay on track with your fitness goals, and maybe helping you live longer in the process. If you are serious about achieving your goals and you're lacking nutritional knowledge, or you just don't have the time and the energy to do this yourself, schedule a free consultation call. We can take the thinking out of it for you and we can assess something and create a plan for you. We have helped many clients in the past who are busy professionals and they don't have time for preparing their foods. And what we've done is created a meal plan and we allowed it to get delivered to their office a few times a week. And this saved any preparation, any thought, any thinking. They had the food delivered to their workplace, they ate it and they went home and enjoyed life. I've left the house today and I want to understand, as a busy professional or somebody who has a tight schedule, how their day goes and how they are able to make good food choices throughout the day, and I want to understand why they're making poor choices. I'm going to look at a logical flow. So I've left my house, I'm going to check in at one of the local coffee shops, one of the takeaway places. I'm going to look and see what options I would have if I was travelling to work at say 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. And then I'm going into the city just now and I'm going to have a look and see. We have done some research and we're going to look at what the top 5 choices are for people who are busy professionals for their dinner. And I'm going to understand what choices I would make in the same situation to ensure I can meet my goals. And I also want to see if I can offer some better suggestions that will help you stay on track, achieve your body goals, give you more energy throughout the day, and also give you so much more time back. Because I can imagine going to collect food or having to order it in, or not having that healthy option with you, must take hours every day wasted at lunch breaks, going for your breaks and various other things. Let's carry out this experiment and just see what we can uncover. Just a little bit about me. I've spent the last 20 years working at sea as an engineer and a manager of an oil platform. I was also in the military before that, so the jobs I have had have always been quite extreme, and I've not had to travel back and forward to work and things like that on a daily basis. I've normally been isolated in the middle of the sea or in unusual places in the military. It'll be interesting to see what we uncover, and will be interesting to see, with my experience working in these extreme circumstances, how I can use my learnings from there to try and help you make the right decisions when you're going for your lunch breaks, when you're choosing foods that will help you be successful throughout the day. You've left the house, you haven't had any breakfast, and you're now going to see, the first stop, you're going to grab a coffee, and I'm going to go in here and see what the options you're going to get for breakfast. I have never worked a 9-to-5 job. I have always worked at sea or been in the military, so for me this is a learning experience as well. And we will see what options we have for breakfast. When I leave the house without breakfast, I normally try and go to a supermarket petrol station, and the reason for that is I can buy single ingredient whole foods and make my own healthy breakfast. Although still not really desirable for me, it's much better than the options we're going to get here.
Hi there, welcome to Costa. What can we get for you? Anything else we get for you today?
I'm just preparing, looking for my breakfast in the mornings. I was thinking about coming here. What is the breakfast options you have? Is it just the 3 different BAPs?
So yeah, we've got them, and then we do have fresh baked pastries. We've got an all-day breakfast wrap. We've got an all-day breakfast toasty. We've got like porridge, some yogurt granola pots.
What do you think is probably the healthiest option?
I can check for you if you give me 2 seconds.
Just for getting some protein in the morning, I'm a bit of a fitness fanatic.
Probably the porridge and like the granola yogurts. They aren't included in the breakfast deal though, so but you do get them in the morning as well. It's just not put it in the discount.
Oh, so you don't get a part of the deal. Okay, right, thanks very much, that's perfect.
Perfect. We'll see you at the window.
Thank you. Now I'm going to head into the city and see what we can find. One of the things I have noticed with the research while preparing for this is many of the meals that you're going to get that are fast foods, and I know from experience of looking at this for other things in the past, you are going to be lacking in protein. Most of these options you get, protein is more expensive than many of the other macronutrients. So most of the fast food meals will be lacking protein, which means you won't be eating enough protein to sustain your muscle mass, and also you won't get the benefits from your body burning calories, breaking down the protein. Another thing you'll find is most of your meals are going to be heavily carb based, and carbs are good, they're going to give you energy, but the ones you're going to find in the fast food places are going to be severely lacking in fibre. You're also going to have a lot of fat, you're also going to have a lot of sauces that will be packed full of fats, sugars, and many of the choices you get like pastries and other things that are popular on the list, they are going to be packed full of saturated fats. Let's have a walk into the city and see what we can find out. Of the top 5 things that was brought up that people use on their lunch, you have the meal deal. Meal deal here, if you are looking for something, so the options you have like chicken, bacon, lettuce. Just have a quick look at that there. 28 grams of protein, lots of sugar, lots of fats, and lots of ingredients, lots of preservatives, lots of chemicals and things you don't need in there. That's probably one of the better options, chicken and bacon, honey and ham for example, but so you get that, and then you can actually get fruit, which is good, so you get a main meal, snack, you get a drink, and most of the options you'll see here is packed full of sugar, energy drinks, packed full of sugar, zero sugar, but again just full of junk, and I don't really see any water here. You get to get water here actually part of the meal deal, so you can have water. You can try and pick the best sandwich there, maybe one that is whole grain and it's got loads of protein in it. And then you also get some crisps here as well as part of the deal. It's clearly none of them, and you get a bar of chocolate as well. So almost like a kid's packed lunchbox to ensure you never stay fit and healthy. And then you do get part of the meal deal here. So you do have a prawn salad, but if it was on its own, it would probably be okay. But then you look at all the junk that's been added to it as well, which doesn't help. Vegetables, samosas, I couldn't actually imagine eating this food all year round. You have even something like that, so you have a good variety there of carbohydrates, some pastas and things, some beans. It's not the worst thing, but then you look in the ingredients and there is probably about 40 ingredients there. That should just be 3 or 4 ingredients. All the things seen so far, something like that's probably the best. You've got hot smoked salmon, potato salad, all pretty much single ingredients apart from the dressing. But yeah, if that's your choices you're having to make every day, it's not the easiest. While we're in the city, we've had a look around and we're really struggling to find anything that you can eat that's healthy. Most of the options here, so either you wouldn't have enough time if you did go to some of the more healthy places to sit down, order food and be back at work within an hour. That kind of makes that an unrealistic option, and we're looking at realistic options here. The other thing here, we could order into the workplace and we'll look at things, so we're looking at Just Eat here and Deliveroo. Just by looking at these, we have things like burger shacks, pizza place, sushi, noodles, Mexico, everything here. And if you actually look at the options, then you've got McDonald's, doner kebabs, KFC. So every single option you find here, there is not one health food option I can find. And when I say health food options, I'm not looking at something that's totally specialised, but at least something that provides simple, whole ingredient foods that are nutritious and actually going to give you some benefits. To me, that takes that out as an equation. I'll do a bit more research when I go home to see if I can find something. But you're looking at here like real fast food, takeaway, Indian, Chinese, pizza. We all know what they contain and really not helpful. So far, looking at every option that I've looked at, other than going to the supermarket and buying single ingredient foods and making your own meals, I haven't actually found a sensible option. If you look over here, you also have the option of buying waffles and coffee and things like that, and actually the reality is when you're walking about and you're probably short of time, you probably end up find yourself shopping or buying food in somewhere like this rather than actually going to a supermarket and buying healthy options. After spending the whole day in the city going through the motions of understanding how people who are busy, high performing people feel when they leave the house in the morning and they've not meal prepped or they have not prepared anything and they're basically going to eat out, either eat at the office canteen or any of the other options that are available. As much as I don't like to admit it, I have to say I can fully understand now why people would make these decisions. And even by going through this process and not actually having to turn up to work and be stuck in one location at, say, your work premises for 8 to 9 hours, I can even see the difficulties just going, even getting parked to get food, going into the shop, you don't have a lot of options. Had a look around most of the restaurants in the city centre, and just by reviewing the menus outside, you can see that there is not many options. There is the time factor as well, so when you're on your lunch break, you don't have an endless amount of time, so looking at the time from leaving the work premises to going to the local restaurant or cafe, even if it does sell reasonably healthy stuff, you have the walking time, you have to order, wait in a queue probably, and if you're going to be eating in, you're going to have to wait for it to be prepared, finish the meal, and then you have to get back to your workplace. So that is, for me, could be quite a stressful option that can be quite annoying. Went to the supermarket, that we checked various options, and again, the supermarket is or can be an option if you go there with the mindset that you're buying single ingredients to make your own meals. This can be very expensive though. By the time you buy, say, something like a packet of prawns, you could grab something like a packet of prawns, you could buy something like 100% chicken breast that is pre-cooked. Yeah, you can go to the supermarket, you can look at single ingredient foods, you can build your own meal. But actually I went and had a look at doing this. By the time you buy some 100% meat or seafood or some sort of dairy, and then you find a healthy high fibre carb source, probably fruit might be one of the better options, and then you look for some healthy fats to add, and then you buy water or some other sort of healthy drink. This is actually quite an expensive meal if you're buying this every day, and it isn't actually very convenient also. And then you've also got the fast food options. Now, I'm not going to go into great detail, but then McDonald's, KFC, Burger King, we all know what they contain. We did actually do in a previous video looking at McDonald's menu, and there was one option where I think it was chicken salad. Now, I'm not sure the quality of meat you're getting, I'm not sure what some of the dressings are, but it's probably not the worst option in the world. Again, you're not going to want to go to McDonald's and buy chicken salad every day, so to me it's not really a great option. Then you have your order in option. We've discussed all this earlier on in the video. There isn't really any viable options, there isn't any options there I can see. I looked through the whole menu when I got home and I couldn't really find anything that actually would provide something that was efficient and something that was actually going to meet any of your health goals. There is some stuff there that would get you high protein, but if you look at the marinades or the sauces or the quality of meat, various other things like covered in saturated fats, you're also going to have lots of sugar, salt, you don't know what the cooking process has been. So to me, again, that kind of null and voids that option. In some cities, you might get somewhere that has got really good meal prep or delivery options. They are worth exploring, but you just have to look at your local cities for that. And the last of the 5 options that I researched for people who are busy professionals is their at-work canteen or eating facilities they have at work. For UK law now, any canteens, restaurants, shops and things need to be able to provide the nutritional value. If you do have like a health bar, snack bar, any of these things, which there should be something that's been identified as being a healthy option, you should be able to look at the nutritional value there, and you're looking for something that's high in protein, high in fibre, plenty of healthy fats, minimal salt, minimal sugar, and preferably something that's been steamed or cooked in a nice manner. If you have something like that canteen, it might be a good option. The only thing is you have no way of really knowing or controlling the quality of meat, how it's been cooked, prepared, all that kind of stuff. I don't think it's high risk if it says it's healthy and it's come from your work and they have a duty of care to obviously give you truthful knowledge, especially on the food that they're providing. It's maybe not a bad option. It might add up in terms of cost over the years. To some people that's not important. If it is convenient, it's on the workplace, you don't have to prepare anything, it could be okay. But if the nutritional value is there or the nutritional information, just review it and try and pick the best option available. In these circumstances, I normally go to try and pick the highest protein option and work back from that, because One of the main things for boosting your metabolism, as we cover in the Metabolic Acceleration Blueprint, is the maintenance of muscle mass, and you need protein to do that. The other one that we did touch on is coffee shops and places like Starbucks, Costa, Greggs. When you go to these places, they are heavily carb-based, heavily saturated fat. You're going to get things like coffees with all sorts of sugars, sweeteners, creams, various other things, and almost all of them have pastries, cakes, toasties, mostly things that are very, very bad for you. Of all of them, it's probably one of the worst options. If you're living out of coffee shops, you really want to rethink that. And of all the coffee shops and all the things that I've reviewed, when you look at McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, you look at all these other options, they actually do provide a little bit of protein. It's maybe not the highest quality or the highest amount. However, when you look at the options in the coffee shops, it is almost the lowest of all them. And to support your metabolism, we need protein. What would I recommend, or what would I do if I was in your shoes? I think having reviewed this and driving home, I was looking at all the different options and seeing really what would I do. For me, discipline equals freedom. How do we implement a strategy that makes this easy as possible? Well, I see what I currently do for my normal life. I work from home now and I'm busy doing business stuff all day, and in order to allow me enough time to be able to do that and still eat 7 times a day, sometimes 8 times a day, all I do is meal prep. I follow the advice that is in my meal prep mastery guide, which you would get free with the Metabolic Acceleration Blueprint. I follow the advice that's in that. I meal prep every 5 days. I bulk buy shopping, I bulk cook, and I make sure I have at least 3 to 5 days prepared in advance, and that just continues all year round. Now, people say I don't want to be cooking 10 to 15 meals at once, but I'm cooking my meal prep in less than an hour, so I'm cooking for 1 hour in 5 days. That is a pretty good return on investment of time. The meal prep options we're going to look at, so I had a good discussion with one of my clients today, and she was looking for options of how she could meal prep. She's got a new job and she was concerned about various things. So she was looking at how does she store her food, how does she take food to work that doesn't smell, because she doesn't want to take things like smoked salmon, prawns, boiled eggs. All these things that do smell, obviously don't want onions, don't want garlic, because they're speaking to people all day, don't want to smell. Totally understandable, and I would probably be thinking the same. It does start reducing what you can take. So some of the things I had advised, and similar to what I would do, you have your standard meal prep. You get glass dishes, you cook 15 of them at a time or something, which would be something like chicken, rice, and green veg, or mince or beef, or any meat or seafood. Seafood can be a little bit smelly for the workplace. And you cook it up, you add some veg to it, and you either add potatoes, rice, pasta, noodles, any of that kind of stuff, and you can add a healthy marinade on top of that to make it nice and juicy, or you can take a vinegar based sauce or something. That is probably for me the easiest and best option. To do that, you have to have probably either a fridge bag that you can take with you, a little cool bag. I have one upstairs that contains ice packs, and it has 3 meal prep options, it has space for 3 meal prep containers inside it, which is more than enough for a whole day at work. You have this, for me, would probably be the best option, supported with a couple of protein shakes and maybe a protein bar and some fruit, and plenty of water to make sure you stay hydrated. I think that for me would be the best option, but you also need to have either a fridge to take with you, a little refrigerated bag, or you need to have a fridge on site. And if it is something that you want to eat warm, you probably need a microwave on site as well. That's one option for the people who don't like meal prepping. Another option which I did suggest to my client today was if you have children or you have family and you're cooking meals every night. So all you do is cook a little bit extra, and then whatever you cook goes on sandwiches the next day. Now, examples of that would be you cook a whole chicken and you just make sure there's something like quarter left that you can rip up later on, pick all the stuff off the bones, and that goes on sandwiches the next day. Should be enough to give you about 50 grams of protein, which would be enough just for your lunch, supported by maybe a protein bar or a protein shake and some fruit. Could be enough for some people, maybe with some overnight oats and some protein yogurt, for example, or you have things like cottage cheese. I think that's also another option, and the good thing about that is once you start getting used to like habit stacking almost, so you're cooking your dinner for your family anyway, you cook that little bit extra, and now you've got your lunch or your food for the next day at work. So you haven't actually done any extra work, and you've killed 2 birds with 1 stone. I think that's a very smart way of doing it, and if you are short of time and you have to cook anyway, then I think that's a good option. You can do that and add that to salad, or you can do that and add it to sandwiches. If you are picking sandwiches, you have to be very careful that you are picking sandwiches they are actually healthy. So you want to be avoiding white bread for a start, and you want to be looking at the ingredients to look for what is the highest in fibre. I'm not going to go through everything about bread because it is quite a complicated subject. The easiest thing for me is try and get stuff that's got seeds in it, it's got grains, it is full of healthy fats, and it's high in fibre. You can look on the side of the packet, the more healthy ones are normally high in fibre. And if you look at this illustration here, you will see 4 different types of flour that you can make bread with. And as you can see here, the rye flour one has got the highest fibre content. When you're looking for bread, if you can look for rye, that's probably the tactics I would use, and thinking about things like simple, clean meats, trying to be as simple as possible, like some marinades and things. Don't make it really strong flavours, strong smells, because it's something you're going to smell of all day. And if you're dealing with people at work, you probably don't want to be smelling of that. Things like fruit and veg can be your best friend. They can be cut up at home, put in little boxes and taken to work with you. And protein shakes as well. Whey protein, you can add oats to that, you can add peanut butter, you can add various other things to give yourself a little bit of a quick snack that you can have at break times and things. The goal of that, if you are doing the meal prep option, you cook once a week, and that should be enough to prepare you for 5 days at work. By doing that, you have used 1 hour instead of cooking every day. This frees up so much time. Also, if you look at, say, lunchtime, for example, many of these options looked at ordering food in, having to go out and collect food, doing all these things. If you have really tight schedules at work, you're a little bit behind, you don't actually have time. It's probably more likely, if you are very short of time, that you probably won't eat anything, and for your metabolism that can be worse sometimes than going and eating some high protein junk food. The goal here is to make eating healthy the easiest option out of all of them. The meal prep option, 1 hour a week preparing it, you put it in glass dishes, it goes in your bag to work, it sits in your work fridge or wherever you have to sit it, and you heat it up 2 to 3 minutes. You can eat it at your desk and get straight back to work if necessary. Stopping for a rest is important too, but I know for many people that just isn't an option. That then gives you 2 to 3 minutes heating it up, maybe 5 to 10 minutes maximum eating it, and then you're back to work. Every single option I looked at here, even delivering food, having food delivered from your desk by the time you look through it, enter your details, click on whatever option, have to meet the person to go and get the food, sit down, eat it, stink half the workplace out, and then you have to tidy your stuff away, and you've had a really unhealthy meal. To me, that's not a great option, and every other option, even the work canteen, means you need to go away to canteen and come back. Maybe not too far, it's maybe okay, but every other option means you need to leave the work premises to go and get something to come back. Now, some people might say that I'm not short of time, and meal prepping for me minimises my social time with my friends, my clients, things like that. Yeah, it might be a possibility. It might be the case for some people, and I do get that. I had one of my clients before who wanted to eat at the canteen because they sat with their friends and they enjoyed the social aspects of that. That is okay. If you do choose to eat at the canteen, again, look for the healthy options. And there's nothing wrong with you taking your healthy meal prep option and sitting in the canteen with these people. I get some people don't want to be different as well, and it's easier just to fit in with the crowd. If you are committed to actually making changes and achieving these goals, you should be looking after number one and doing whatever's best for you. Your friends and people, if they are real friends, they will understand that you're trying to lose fat, build muscle, whatever it is your goals are, and they will support that, and they should support that. If not, I would question if they are real friends anyway. For me, meal prep is the number one option, and it's almost hard to avoid that, whether it's at home, in the workplace. It is going to be the best option in terms of efficiency and the best option in terms of ensuring that you have healthy food to eat. For you, if this is all pretty overwhelming and you are committed to achieving your goals, but you just don't have time, energy, or really just don't want to be involved in the planning of this, you can book a free consultation call. I will do all the thinking for you. I will give you good, effective strategies that will make sure you stay on track. And as I said previously, we can also look to create you a full meal plan for the week, and we can send that to a local meal prep company. They will deliver that direct to your workplace. It is things that we have looked at before. It is a possibility, and there's many places worldwide that do this now. That is an option for you, and that is all stuff that we can take care of in the one-to-one personalised coaching programme. If you do want us to take care of everything for you, schedule a call and let's discuss where you currently are. Let's discuss what problems you're having and let's see what solutions we can provide to that. And if you have found this video very helpful, drop a comment below. I would love to know what problems you have. I've done this in a very generic way, looking at just the common practices and going through the motions of what people generally have to do in a 9-to-5 job. If you have quite a unique situation, from my experience of working at sea all the time, we had so many limited resources and we were always able to find strategies to keep ourselves on track. Drop below in the comments or send me a DM and I will see if there's any ways I can help you get back on track. Thanks for watching. If you did enjoy this video, hit the like button.